Hey, I want to tell you a story. A couple stories, actually. But first, I'm gonna play with your hair. So, when I was when I was younger, when I was a kid, we got these walkie-talkies, and we thought we were so cool. They had all these different channels on them, and we could talk to truckers. We figured out where the trucker station was, and so we get on there, and we're trying to talk to all the truckers, and they're mostly annoyed and ignoring us. But a couple would talk to us, and eventually one of them was like, "Hey, you can't be on this station." And us being like cocky little 10-year-olds were like, "You can't talk to us like that. We're the military." And the guy had driven on. We lived by the expressway. The guy was probably long gone by then. But we're like, "Yeah, we're the military. You can't talk to us like that." And my little brother grabs the walkie-talkie, and he goes, "Yeah, we're part of the Salvation Army." At which point, all of us who were older were like, "You idiot." And then there's another time like this. We were exploring the woods, and I remember we had a whole lot of us neighbor kids. And like a group of like 10 or 12. And we're wandering through the woods, and on the other side of the woods there was this house. Or a neighborhood. And we'd never really gone there before. So we head through the woods this day and head in a direction we'd never gone before in years. And we go down into a dip. Like there's the houses, it goes down to the dip, and you come up. And then so you can only tell there's a house on the other side if it's getting towards winter and there's no leaves in the forest. So there weren't any leaves on the trees, they were all on the ground. And we get over to this house, and we come out and we pop out in this person's yard, and it's just like a private person, like they're back in the woods too, but they're going the other way, connected to the roads on that side. And we pop out in this person's yard right next to their house, like a group of 10 kids, and this lady is just pulling up in her car, and she's like, "What the hell?" Like, obviously way back in the woods, and you just see 10 kids pop out next to your house. She's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" All pissed off. And we're like, "Oh crap." And my one neighbor must have been quick thinking, because he looks at her, he goes, "We're lost." And his little brother immediately stops him and goes, "No, we're not. We live right over there." And he points at their house across the dip that you can just barely see. We're all like, "No." Like, now she knows where we live. We're trespassing. That was, I just picture it now, and the way he shouted was like, "Ha, like I'm smarter than you guys. I know something you don't. And I'm gonna just declare it." is a little different. We used to have these BB guns growing up. Everyone in the neighborhood had one. And my brother was 3 years younger than me, so I got the high-powered BB gun. He got a little one spring-loaded, one cock. Just, there's nothing to it, BB gun. And it couldn't really hurt you. It was basically like an airsoft gun, or wouldn't hit any harder than a paintball. And one day, for some reason, I'm out and I have his gun, and one of our neighbor kids is out with us, and I get the idea that I'm gonna shoot him with this gun, and he's going, "You better not," and he was like a couple years younger. I'm like, "Oh, you know I am." Like, as soon as he starts complaining, like, getting angry, like, you better not, there's gonna be consequences if you do that. At which point I was like, consequences? Now I have to do it. And so I come up to him, he turns around like he's walking away, like do it, I dare you. And I stuck the tip of the gun right up to his butt, and I shot it. And he started crying, and he ran home, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, now he's crying, he's gonna go tell on me. And I'd say like 2 hours later, I don't know, I was at home watching cartoons. This must have been during the summer. And I get a knock on my door. And I'm like, what the hell could it be? So I go and answer it, and it's a different neighbor, one who's my age. The only neighbor who was my age, exactly. And he comes to the door, I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, and he just starts like rambling. I'm like, you want to hang out? And he's like, oh, no, just seeing how you're doing. And I'm a kid, I got my cartoons on. I'm like, well, alright. Well, and I like start to shut the door. I was like, see you later. Don't want to hang out or nothing. And he's like, wait. And he puts his hand on the door. And he like forces the door open. I'm like, what? Like, you're not getting to any point here. Like, what do you want? And at which point I hear past my ear, and like 30 feet behind me in the kitchen, I hear like, ting, 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 ding, ding, ding. And what it was, and my eyes focused, and I see behind my dad's tractor is the neighbor kid I shot 2 hours earlier with one of the high-powered BB guns, and he's hiding behind the tractor, just all lined up, and he's just aimed. And he'd shot into the house with enough pressure for the BB to travel across the house into the kitchen and bang, or like bounce like 3 or 4 times off the kitchen walls. And I always think, like, to this day, like, holy crap. Like, can you imagine if that hit me in the face or in the eye? That's probably the closest, second closest, 10th closest I've ever been to losing my eye. And it was crazy, but at the time I was like, oh, you got me, like, that was crazy. And then we went out and we played, which is just like, now I think about it and it pisses me off. Like, what an idiot. How stupid can you be? But you weren't sane. Yeah, that's my 3 stories of stupid things that happened when I was a kid. Your hair is straight, by the way. It was curly as hell. did stupider things too. Much more stupider. But those are a story for another time.